Hi there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Alison. I'm the senior children's worker at a small charity based in Northwest London in the UK. If you're returning, then thank you so much for coming back. And you will know that this is the second part of a video. So last week I failed to post on Saturday because I was in the process of preparing and hosting a small conference that we did online. And my last video you'll see, which I recorded just before recording this one, is all about how we can protect our own mental health and to help and to look out for ourselves so that we can then minister to children that we come into contact with. And so today I want to give you 5 ways that we can support the children that we minister to. So I'm just going to dive in because the last video was long and I'm assuming this one's going to be long as well. So I'm going to dive right in. The first thing that we can do for the children that we are working with is to be a listening ear. Now, when children are back in the classroom, when they're allowed a little bit more freedom to be outside, we're going to see different things happen. So they're going to have there's going to be children with big anxiety issues. There's going to be children with behavioural issues. Children are not going to be able to concentrate. And that is on top of all the other safeguarding issues that we're looking out for anyway. The neglect, the abuse, the withdrawn child, the hyperactive child. So we're looking for all these things. So refresh yourself on your safeguarding policy, on the ways and the types of abuse that you might miss. Just be aware of them. Take time to refresh yourself, but be a listening ear. And a few weeks ago, I attended a conference, and one of the things that they said that really struck me was that we need to, if we are a listening ear, that we should breathe, drop and listen. And so what that means is if a child is freaking out, if they're acting up in any way, get them to breathe. Do some breathing exercises. So do it with them, a deep breath in and back out. Because it stops them doing whatever is damaging or hurtful. If they're crying, it helps them to regulate that. If they're being violent, it stops that violence because they're concentrating on their breathing. So get them to breathe in and out and do it until the child starts to calm down. Then drop or walk. And that means that you either sit down to chat with them or you go for a walk. Now, we have safeguarding policies in our ministry, and so we wouldn't recommend that people go for a walk any further than the edge of the room that we're in, because we don't want people going off alone with children. So make sure that you are visible to other team members and children so that nothing can be brought against you. You need to be as open and transparent as possible. Children need to know that we cannot keep secrets if it is a danger to their life. And so we never promise that we'll keep something a secret. We promise that we will listen to them, and if necessary, we'll get them the help that they need. So then that's it. Then we need to listen to what they have to say. We should never push them into saying things, never put words in their mouth. Just be a listening ear. And I've always maintained that God gave us 2 ears and 2 eyes and only 1 mouth, so that we can hear twice as much and see twice as much as what comes out of our mouth. So we need to become really good listeners and observers of the children and their behaviour, and just make sure that we're looking out for them, that we are making them, whilst they're in our care, they're our top priority. The second thing is that we need to be ready to discuss really difficult topics. And the biggest topic that we're probably going to face at the moment is, why did God allow this pandemic? Why did he allow people to die from it? And then what do I do because somebody that's close to me has died? And we might find that children have lost parents, they've lost grandparents, they've lost aunties or uncles, maybe they've lost a sibling or a friend that they were really close to. And so we need to be able to have that difficult conversation about death. And so I suggest, if you're a leader, that you research ways that you can support your team members. We have organisations in the UK that are Christian that do bereavement leaflets for children, for parents. And so we're equipping our team members with that information so that they feel equipped to be able to minister to these children. But again, just listening to what the child has to say is going to be 95% of what needs to be done. Children need to know that we're not going to judge them for the things that they say. We're going to be empathetic towards them. We're going to know that what God says about that situation. So it's important that we know where we stand on our faith, and that we need to be prayerful and ask God for wisdom. And those things are really important when we're talking and listening to young children. We can't be indecisive. We can't waver. We can't change our mind. We need to know what God is saying to us. The third thing is, going back to my last video, model a healthy lifestyle. And in that, I mean everything. So model spending time with God, model walking with God, model your faith with these children, model a healthy lifestyle. So diet, exercise, going to bed, reading the word, encouraging each other, building friendships, knowing that we can go to somebody to be accountable for them. Model that to these children. There is a saying somewhere that you might be the only Bible somebody ever reads. And with children, I think that that is important, that we might be the only Bible that they read, especially when we're working with children who wouldn't normally come to church. Help them to build a community. And so one of the things that I really miss and I have loved so much is that before the pandemic, I had a little discipleship group that I met with once a week. And I loved this discipleship group. There was only 3 kids in it. It was another church had asked me to come and run it because they only had 3 children. They didn't have Sunday school, but we met every week and we did a Bible study and we chatted. And in the course of the year that I was there with them, I just saw these kids grow, and their desire to look out for each other, to advise one another, to pray for each other was amazing. And these are under 10s. So it is such an amazing thing to see that happen. Here we've got kids building a community with each other. They didn't go to the same school, so they looked out for each other after, in that they were friends outside of school. And I just absolutely loved that. So help them to build a community. Maybe you could start a small discipleship group. You know, in the UK, we're being told that children shouldn't meet in larger groups than 15. So, you know, we don't want to have a huge discipleship group. Maybe have a discipleship group of 8 or 9 children, and they meet once a week or once a fortnight. You could do it that you're doing it every week, but you have a different group that meets so that you're only meeting once a fortnight. Make sure that you follow your safeguarding policies for your church. Don't do it on your own. It's one of these things that it's better to be safe than sorry. And so you could end up talking about really intimate things in that environment when it's a small group, because they become confident and they feel they can share more. And so I really, really strongly advise you that you don't do it alone, that you do have somebody else with you. Okay. And then finally is prayer, so that when we are seeing these kids, we can pray for them in advance. So we can be praying for the children that we minister to now. In our ministry, we divided up all the children amongst the team members, and they have a group of kids that they're praying for daily. And those kids, we're seeing them. We're still seeing them come, even though we've not been in person. We still see them. We still hear from them. We're still in contact with them. So pray for them. Teach them to pray. Again, there's that old-fashioned proverb of give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day. Teach him how to fish and he'll be able to live a life, or whatever it is. But if we teach the children to pray rather than it's just us praying for them, then they are in control of it. They're taking a part. They're participating in their own walk of faith. And so teach them to pray, encourage them to pray, encourage them to pray for one another as well. And you will be amazed at how that changes. In our first lockdown from March to July of last year, we held 6 days a week, we held a live Bible study on Zoom for our kids. And to begin with, the kids were really quiet and shy, and they didn't know each other because we have 4 sites and they were coming from different sites to join us. But they soon established a rapport with one another and with us, and they were engaged. And we didn't show videos of the Bible story. We actually read the word, which we'd never done before. So here we've got kids that don't normally come to church, and we're reading it. And before long, they were begging to be the person that was chosen to read. And I was like, what? Yeah, I can't believe this. No, it's okay. We'll just read. I had to change my thinking. God had to rebuke me and say, no, let the kids read. And so the kids wanted to read the word, and they read it beautifully, absolutely amazingly. And then they wanted to pray for each other. And so they were praying every day for different things. And they were quite happy to pray. And when you say now, oh, do you want to pray for us as we start? The kid unmutes her mic and off goes the prayer. And I'm so grateful to God that we've seen that growth in these young children, that they are willing and wanting to pray at this time. And so encourage them to do that. Build them up. Get them to pray for one another. Don't be the person, be the instigator, but don't be the prayer. And we have the answer, but we're not the answer. And so in everything that we do, we just need to keep pointing the children back to Jesus. Get them to be focused on him, just like we need to. Teach them, disciple them, and then that will help them with coping through this situation. I'm going to quit now whilst I'm ahead, but thank you so much for watching and staying right to the very end, and I will be back next week with another video. So take care for now, and I will see you then. Bye.